just don't come bigger than Randy Savage, the Macho King.
The Macho King.
Oh, that's like the King of the Ring version?
Yeah.
Tight.
Was the
That's why he has the
quintessential
crown.
WWE
Imagine that.
superstar.
Oh, I didn't see that, man.
Maybe if you opened your eyes, maybe if you fucking watch wrestling toys, you'd see the details. You're not a very observant individual, are you?
Well, I had you check like 4 page figures for the best paint job.
It's true. I've got an eye for detail.
You did that for this.
Yeah, I did.
Today
Yeah.
you
I
checked against
care
two.
about the little things.
Yeah,
And you noticed one of the page figures had like a paint smudge like on her forehead.
Yeah.
We had to get rid of it.
The QC on these things are terrible. The paint apps,
Is
inconsistent.
that quality control?
Yeah, it is quality control.
It's a good job.
It's like Creed's job.
Yeah, it's his exact job.
Creed's job?
He's all,
Creed Bratton.
once a month I'm supposed to go over to the warehouse and
This is
make
an
sure...
office drop.
Yeah.
Christ.
No, you'll like this one. Once a month I'm supposed to go to the warehouse and make sure that the quality of our paper is good. The 1 year I blow that off. This happens. Remember that?
Yeah, he's got his
Hasn't
job
done it for like a
involves
year.
His job involves doing one thing a year, but he
Yeah.
does every day.
Office.
Yeah.
See, when I hear Creed, I'm either thinking some shitty, like, pseudo-Christian Pearl Jam ripoff, or I'm thinking Victor Creed.
Or Apollo Creed.
See, I don't think Apollo Creed. I'm more of an X-Men guy than I would be a Rocky guy. Victor
Really?
Creed is Sabretooth.
So, I'm a Rocky guy. I'm also a Jack Bauer guy.
Are you a Paul Heyman guy?
Yeah. Like 100% of the time. I'm a Ron the Truth Killings guy.
Everyone's Ron. Well, anyone with taste loves Ron.
So we're going to talk about Jack Bauer tonight, but you guys are going to
oh, yeah, that
you
was
guys
a
are going
great
to tell
segue.
you guys are going to talk
that
about
was a Kurt level segue.
you guys are going to talk about parking lot stories, right?
Yeah. I wanted to kick it off with a special treat.
We forgot. We teased it last episode. We
No, I
forgot
guess-
to do it.
Let's actually have some proper decorum and some tradition in this. Let's actually lead in by saying, welcome listeners and fans and marks. You are on the Put 'em Over podcast. My name is Lucha Jon.
I'm Hurley.
That was a... No, you have to... Let's start over.
I'm
I'm
looking at
Lucha
your turtle
Jon.
gimmicks on the table.
Yeah, I know, you're jealous of...
Kind of want to just like leave you guys here, and I'm gonna go get some of these.
It's closed. It's
Are you sure?
closed. I'm maybe...
Why don't you get some
sure.
tomorrow?
Walmart's a gimmick though. They're open hella late, dude.
Yeah, but not... Yeah, but this is a gimmick Walmart.
It is a gimmick. Walmart.
Like, it's...
If you
It's
don't
in
know
the ruins of a Gottschalks, for God's sakes.
the ruins, dude, that was a good try. It's funny. Remember, Gottschalks had like that skylight gimmick. It was like the what is it? Where's the picture? The Michelangelo painting.
The Sistine Chapel.
Sistine Chapel. Yeah, I always forget the name of that place.
That's
Yeah.
gonna trigger Lucha Jon. He hates
I am
when people
triggered.
don't know like history.
Yeah.
No, I just like forget the name of it. I
But-
knew that it was Michelangelo.
Well, again, let's try this again. I'm Lucha Jon.
I'm Hurley. What's
There
up?
we go.
Yeah.
You're the face. You have to bring the energy.
Well,
Ultimate
I got a lot
Warrior
on my
is your
mind.
guy.
I got a lot on my mind tonight.
Do you have your money on your mind?
My mind on my money on my money on my mind.
I got my
Everybody
money
knows
on
who I am.
gimmicks.
I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, no one
Yeah,
cares
like-
either.
We upgraded some things in Gorilla. We upgraded Gorilla, period, this week.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the acoustics change.
Yeah.
There's less
Are you
bullshit.
curious about that?
A little bit.
Okay.
I think the acoustics will be good.
What's up?
I mean, like, we mic checked a little bit ago and it sounded okay. But yeah, on Sunday we got together and you guys came over to review tape and I was
And
like,
you
cleaning.
checked out the acoustics with an acoustic.
Yeah, I did. I
Like
had
trying
the
to
guitar.
put over your medley of diva entrance themes, which was pretty
Yeah, I was
tight.
messing with Sasha's music, dude.
A little bit of
We did
Asuka.
some New Japan, then got deep in the TNA Golden Era.
Yeah, that is...
You guys did?
It's the Golden Era.
What was I doing?
You were getting fucking
We're-
Hurley drunk.
No, it's Adam drunk.
Whatever the equivalent, whatever the alcoholic equivalent to Iran was, you were there.
I was
You were
deep.
deep in it.
Yeah,
I was deep in Fireball.
yeah, you were.
Yeah. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was. You got
Yeah,
so heated when we left.
Was I mad at you
You were
guys?
Yeah.
so pissed.
I was bummed
Yeah.
because I was ready. You guys always call me fall asleep guy because I'm fall asleep guy, and I was ready to like hang out, and you
Well,
guys wanted to leave.
I left. What was it, like 2 a.m., 1 a.m.?
Yeah, we left together at
It was
the same
2
time.
a.m.
2
I got here at like 1 to 2 p.m. I put in like a 12-hour shift here.
That's true.
Like a job.
Yeah.
It was like a job.
I realize you and I usually get here to Gorilla a little bit early before he gets home and we
Yeah.
start collectively reviewing tape.
Mhm.
So you and I get here around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. after he goes to bed, we usually stay out here and put over either some PWG DVDs or some random matches on Daily Motion.
Yeah. Or some Joshi.
Or some Joshi. We stay here until 2 or 3 o'clock. So pretty much every Wednesday, we put in a bell. We work bell to bell, a 12-hour shift.
We go Broadway.
In Gorilla.
I wish I could pay you
Nakano
guys.
Broadway.
I wish I could pay you guys for working in Gorilla.
Gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep Gorilla fridge stocked with gimmicks.
Yeah.
Drink some monsters.
You guys helped me
bath.
clean Gorilla the other day. We beautified it a little bit. We did some storage runs. Yeah.
But yeah, last week we recounted our odyssey to Portland, the capital of hipsterdom, to view the Smackdown taping with the main event of Lionheart versus the Phenomenal One. But we actually left out something that we alluded to earlier in the podcast because we kind of botched and got pressed for time. One of the funniest fucking moments of the night was just hanging out with some marks out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
At the entrance to the parking lot where we knew everyone who had just worked a match would have to drive.
Yeah, there was a core group of about, 10 of us?
Yeah.
10 to 15. Everybody waiting. Cars would come one by one. There was a guy and his kid who, both of them were New Day marks. He had the horn, the
That
shirt.
might be the biggest understatement I've ever heard out of
Yeah,
you,
he was heated that, the New Day wasn't on the show.
I think a lot of people were because there were 2 chants that were going on even when the cameras were off, and it was New Day and Lucha.
When I knew that I was going to SmackDown, they were one of the acts that I was sure was going to be there. They're on every single show. I thought there's no way we don't see New Day.
I was anxiously awaiting. There were 2 things I wanted to hear. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And, oh, Portland!
Yeah.
Put down your gimmicks.
Never heard it.
Never heard it.
Didn't happen.
So, yeah, that guy was... Did that guy seem a little drunk to you? Just a little bit on beer, like he'd had a few too many?
Yeah, probably. He had the unicorn horn.
Did you get...
Super over.
I listened to the cast today from last week. Did you actually get, a souvenir SmackDown cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not the exact same. It's pretty much the same as the Mania
It's
one.
Mania.
It just doesn't say WrestleMania. It's the same pictures of the wrestlers.
Oh.
That's weak.
Oh.
But
You should bring it to
I will.
Gorilla.
There is a couple additions. I know Ambrose is on this one, and he wasn't on the Mania one. But it's the same look.
we shuffled on out there, and I did it originally under the guise of trying to find a Five Guys burgers and fries and get over on some dinner.
Five guys, guys.
Five Guys burgers and fries.
No, but you said you did it under the guys.
Oh, that's
it was
true.
a Five Guys, guys.
It was Five Guys. Wish there was another rhyming word I could use right there,
Yeah.
but I don't.
No.
Sad.
But
Five Guys.
we did that before that
Fries?
because we ended up at that other gimmick burger place.
No, I'm talking after the show because we wanted to shoot food again because all we had was appetizers.
Yeah.
I went out there, but really in my mind, all along, I was thinking to myself, I want to hang out on the street corner and see if we can meet anyone in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, because our plan was we were gonna walk around.
Yeah.
And we just stopped there.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was my
yeah,
plan
yeah.
all along.
You were working me?
I was working you. I just wanted
You
to see
think
if
I wouldn't want to do that?
I don't know.
I'll do that all night.
We
Do
did
it
all
right now.
I'll do it right now.
You don't think I will?
So let's see. Let's recant some of the people we saw. So originally, I realized that it was going to be a solid investment when I saw all
pretty
the other
sure I
marks.
remember who the first person that drove by, the debut.
Was it Naomi?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Was Naomi.
It was Naomi. Noticed the Ascension drove by.
The Ascension in a stupid car, such an Ascension car.
What was
And they
it?
were wearing
Like an
everyone's
HHR?
wearing
No, it was like a
beanies.
Toyota Corolla or something. It's a stupid car.
Everyone's wearing dark beanies down low,
Yeah.
they're trying to hide who they are. They all look like Tyson Tomko, if you guys remember him.
What about Baron Corbin?
What a
I
faggot.
didn't see him.
So everyone's trying to kind of slip out unnoticed.
Except for one guy.
Well, no, there were a couple
Oh, okay.
people. Like Byron Saxton, for all the shit that I give him.
Well, no, I mean, even he wasn't going out of his way to be seen. When he was seen, he was stopped. But there was one guy who was going out of his way to make sure people knew that he was driving by.
Yeah, that was my pop of the night, because
Yeah.
I pointed it out. If you want to get to that one, I was going to lead up to that one.
Oh, okay.
That was
No.
the main event one.
Okay, no, we'll go
All
with
right,
that.
because it's the funniest thing ever.
I thought you were trying to throw me a bone to lead you.
No.
Because you always complain about how I miss your calls.
That's true.
You say we're gonna call it in the ring.
You're a fucking botch fest.
This action figure's pretty tight.
How's the ab crunch? What's the range of motion?
It's pretty...
That's decent.
Yeah.
It's better than the average elite figure.
Yeah.
You should. I want a Black Machismo figure now. So, Byron Saxon, for all the shit I give him, he actually stopped and let 2 full green lights pass while he just sat there and signed autographs and talked to fans. Now,
were there people stacked behind him trying to get...
No, not stacked. There's a few.
No, there was like a gaggle of people on either side of the street.
Yeah, nobody's stock went up in my mind more than Byron Saxton. Just off that.
No, what I'm saying is, when he was letting green lights pass, were there people stacked behind him in traffic?
What I said the first time is no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
That's the question I answered.
I thought you meant...
So
I
these
thought
guys,
you thought I meant were there
we
people
were
stacked
popping
around
really
his car?
hard for shoot people, as I like to call them. People who just work backstage and were coming
That
out.
was the theme of that.
Yeah,
like
we were like
Corona?
cheering, like shoot people. No, like not even as big as Corona. Just, hey, I'm a gaffer.
Like gaffer.
People who are just coming out and getting in gimmick WrestleMania buses.
Isn't the
driving
gaffer
off.
like that microphone?
Yeah.
Broad thing? Yeah.
That's tight.
Dude, the power just went out in Gorilla.
We're gonna make this a very short episode.
Yeah. No kidding. Well, the computer's still working. We're still recording.
Yeah,
Right?
because we're not on. Well, that's recording too.
Yeah, but
This is not a work.
Hold-
This is not a work.
Super Dragon is not running in.
Oh man, Super Dragon.
Super Dragon.
So he hangs out. We notice
I kinda like this,
Naomi.
She's very
We
romantic.
notice
Should I get a
the
candle?
Ascension. We notice a couple other people that are just whack that I don't care about. Who are some of the other people that actually stopped and interacted very briefly?
Alicia Fox.
Oh yeah, Foxy did.
She stopped.
Naomi tried to slip out unannounced.
Yeah.
I didn't even see Sasha. She was probably hiding in the backseat of someone's car.
She's probably with Naomi.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe. I don't know.
So everyone's trying to drive out incognito. Some of them are trying to slip out unannounced, just keeping a low profile. Some of them are actually waving at fans. I want you to tell the story about the one the interaction that you overheard with a particular legend.
Interaction I overheard.
Yeah, that you had to tweet about.
Oh.
I laughed.
Okay.
Like, I laughed every single
Yes.
time you retold this story.
Okay, so a car drives up. I remember it being red. It was a nice car. The window is down, and we notice that it's JKL, Jerry the King Lawler. So the King is stopped at the red light, and then there's these security people that are just kind of waving traffic through, making sure everything goes smoothly. The King rolls down his window, and at this point, me and Lucha Jon are like 5 feet away from the King. Like, we can hear, he's talking in like a regular voice. He's not trying to be loud, and we can hear him. And he asks one of the security people, "Hey, do you happen to know how I can get on I-5? So the King, he doesn't even know how to use like Google Maps on his iPhone. He's asking like shoot people like how to get on Interstate 5.
And the best thing is a few minutes later, he's the only one in his car.
Yeah, he's driving by himself. There's no one in the car with him.
And he's tweeting.
Yeah, it's like
a
5
couple minutes later. God.
He's retweeting like praise as he's driving.
And of course, I'm doing the gimmick of bowing because it's the King.
He's the King.
He pulled the greatest work in the history of wrestling angles ever.
Yes.
Be right back. I think we blew a breaker because the lights are on in the house.
What a gimmick.
I guess heaters.
Whatever. So, it took every ounce of restraint just because I wasn't sure if he thought it was in bad taste, but I really wanted to yell, Kaufman lives as he drove
You
away.
would have popped for that.
Think so?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the grave with that as one of my great regrets. I'm going to be withered.
Dude, did you like partially unmask?
Yeah.
Like, I'm putting this video up just like this is.
Well, they're not going to be able to see
That's
shit.
what makes it tight.
I know, but I can unmask.
Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
matter. I'm breaking kayfabe. That's actually, like, my radiance is what knocked out the breakers anyway. Should probably put this down in case he, like, fixes the gimmick lights.
Yeah, it could come back on at any time.
Anytime, the lights could do a run-in.
It'll be especially cool if he gets a candle and puts it right here, so like we're the only thing illuminated. That'll make a great video.
It'll look like Dario Cueto's office now
Yeah.
that Katrina's in charge.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's Katrina's office now.
that's true.
Not his.
Well, you never know. The Cueto clan, they have deep ties in Mexico.
It's true.
The Raza are making a comeback. I'm seriously gonna like be on my deathbed, surrounded by my loved ones, like my grandchild's small stubby fingers wrapped around mine, and I'm gonna look my wife of like 80 years dead in the
I thought you
eyes
were
and
getting
say,
married.
"I'm working you right now. This
Oh.
is a kayfabe." I'm gonna look her in the eyes and bring her in close, and with my dying breath said, "I should have said Kaufman lives to Jerry the King Lawler," and
Yeah.
they passed from this mortal world.
Like, that's been a thing that you've wanted to say to him, and you had the shot.
It's a botch.
The botch.
But by far, we'll end
This
it.
is the main event of the party.
This is the main event because I want to talk about the guys
Right.
that were one of the last ones. Because what was
Actually,
cool is
there's like there's two main events. Yeah,
it's,
you're
it's like Wrestle Kingdom 10 in a parking lot. So, what's cool is these shoot people, as I've dubbed them, are... Welcome back to the video. The lights have come on and we've got a production going. So, these people are ushering the cars out one by one. They're making sure that traffic stays orderly because
Good thing you put that mask back
they're
on.
trying to organize and just do these crazy mechanical pirouettes of giant semi-trucks
Yeah.
around standard sedans coming out.
Yeah, with like pictures of Bo Dallas on the side.
And Jericho,
Yeah.
Chris Jericho, C-O, no H in it. They've had a fucking typo on their official production truck. So, all of this is happening, and they're coming out one by one
Yeah.
by one. People are sneaking out. I totally lost like my train of thought because the lights came back on.
I know, dude. It was probably pretty romantic, but I fixed it.
It was like there was an intimacy to the room. I love that you're just walking in front of
Gee.
camera. Like
Yeah,
this is
okay.
going on fucking YouTube.
Yeah, but the heater needs to come
Who
back
gives
on.
a shit about the heater?
It's cold in here, man. I gotta protect my new gimmick, man. I gotta, it's all about climate control with these action figures.
Yeah, but the heat is actually what will damage the plastic.
Yeah,
The cold
that's
is better
true.
for them. Okay, God. I don't remember what I was gonna, because there was one more story I was gonna put
I
over.
know what it is. Are we doing the semi-main event?
No.
The first main event is this red. I want to say it was maybe like a. What was it? It was an SUV. I don't know.
No, because I want to do that as the main event, because that's
okay.
tight.
So then
I
the
had
fir-
something else leading up, like
Oh.
an undercard thing, but
in the parking lot, you mean?
yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember what it was. What matters is all these cars are driving by. Some people are trying to just not engage with the fans. Like, people are calling them out, like, "Hey, Victor!" No one actually called out
Victor.
Victor. That never happened. We saw Mark Henry. Someone called him out. People just drive out. One guy starts driving out, and he sees the green light, and I look over, and I know this profile anywhere.
The profile.
And he's wearing shades and looking straight dead ahead.
And it's pitch black at this point.
And I call out, "Lionheart!" And he just like drives by, and just before he puts on the gas, he just honks his horn multiple times to make sure everyone turns and looks and sees that it's Chris Jericho.
There's no car in front of him.
No.
He
And then
honked
just
at us.
takes off.
Yeah.
Just honks to make sure, like, no, I'm not going to interact with fans because that's gay. I'm just going to make sure everyone knows Chris Jericho was here. It was such a great in-character
I
moment.
love it.
But you can detail, it was one of the last people to leave the stadium, and yet it was one of the most genuine pops.
Yeah. I want to say it's like a red, like Cadillac Escalade, a Jace.
You'll pop for this, Hurley.
It stops. This car is at a complete stop, right in line with Lucha Jon and I's eyesight. So like if we're standing straight ahead, looking straight ahead, it's right there. And then we're trying to figure out like that's somebody. Who is that? And then this big ass guy is in the front seat, and he's got like one arm on the steering wheel like this. And then he kind of like looks over, and once he looks over, Lucha Jon yells at like the top of his lungs, "It's Big Cass!" And it is Big Cass, and they're at a red light, so they're stopping. And then all we can see is Big Cass, and then he does like a nod at us, and nothing else. And then he looks back, and then a few seconds go by, and then he rolls down the window.
And at this point, I'm already nuclear popping. I'm like jumping up like a fucking jackrabbit.
So he rolls down the window and looks and like smiles at us again. And then when he rolls down the window, because they were kind of tinted, you could see in the front seat was Carmella.
Yeah, she like leaned forward to.
She leaned forward to scream at like your gimmick. You remember her screaming like, "Oh my God!" Like because you had like a crazy poncho and like a mask on.
I had the
She
poncho
popped for it.
and yeah,
Like
the
you
Dos Catas
popped
mask.
Carmella in
It's
Shoot
true.
Life. And then as we're like yelling, like where's Enzo?
Bada bing.
Like
Tight.
I hear like a faint "How you doing?" from like the back seat, and then I'm like looking and I can see like illuminated by a phone, like Enzo in the back seat, like doing shit on his phone, yelling like, "How you doing?"
I love it.
So tight. So yeah, he was like there for a second. We got the "How you doing" back and forth with.
I love that Enzo, Cass, and Carmella like ride together. That's tight.
Because they're like shoot pals.
Yeah, it's legit.
Do you think Liv Morgan was back there too?
I hope so. I didn't see her though. Liv, yeah, she probably wasn't. She in
Probably
Florida,
at the Performance
Yeah.
Center.
working on her game, dude.
Getting that shit in. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I'm sure I'm forgetting some other fun little
I don't
moments,
think
but
So
if you ever, obviously nothing will ever touch going to a show like PWG and walking into the hall and seeing the Young Bucks just sitting on the apron
And Legion Larry.
and Legion Larry, the ultimate shooter. Just and being able to like shoot with them in person like it's no big thing. But with how corporate the celebrity culture of WWE is, even getting those cool little moments in the parking lot, that's a nice thing.
that's something I would definitely mark for. You guys would, that I'd have a lot of fun with that.
Especially Enzo and Cass, like your
Yeah.
boys. Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure 3 weeks ago on the podcast, you revealed that you read the dirt sheets and Enzo and Cass have been buried. They're not going to be on it for the next 8 fucking weeks. It's such bullshit. I'm not watching NXT. We have now seen Enzo and Cass on literally every single episode of NXT since, and we saw them in a dark match in Portland.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I think they're unsure of how to handle them. I think they've got lightning in a bottle here.
Mm-hmm.
They're so over, and they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the Orton Seth match was tight.
I think you're right. I mean, like, if they knew what to do, they would either be champs in NXT or they'd be on the main roster by
I think
now
they gave
regularly.
him kind of a semi-tryout at that SmackDown show. You don't do that to like a random team.
But according to you guys, there was like no pop at all when they came
What was
out.
the crowd? Like
Yeah.
a real crowd would have popped for him.
There was a decent pop on the one section of the stadium that had Smarks in it. It was a weak crowd overall.
Mhm.
So, pretty much, aside from the Lucha Dragons and New Day, no one was going to get a really good reaction.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Enzo and Cass are certainly like over, and I think they could kill it on the main roster, and the main roster needs tag teams.
yeah, there's a dearth of good tag teams on the main roster right now. We're down to basically the Usos and the New Day. I guess
and the
Lucha
Lucha Dragons
are
are kind
back.
of back together, yeah. But you have like Usos, super face, Lucha Dragons face.
Like, just both of them
yeah,
are
I mean,
baby
and
faces.
then you've got the heels. Like, really, what they really ought to do is they really need to bring up like Enzo and Cass, Chad and
American Alpha.
yeah, Gable and Jordan, and like bring those guys up. And then they got to do something with the heels. They got to get some more heels. Like,
When you
yeah.
look at like the history of NXT, though,
yeah,
Gable and Jordan are so far away from a call-up. They're not even
Right.
anywhere close to one.
right.
So we're talking years before they're up, like 1 to 2
It's
years.
sad too
Yeah.
because Gable's awesome.
Finn Balor, like arguably one of the best wrestlers like in the world before he got to NXT, already like in his 30s, tree.
Tree.
Yeah.
He has to stay in NXT for 2 years. So.
Nakamura Shinsuke is getting the Freddie Japan treatment, so
Yeah.
you never know how it's going to work. Samoa Joe is still there. I do want to call out, though, for any of you at home who have not watched this week's NXT, one of the mid-card things is an 8-man tag, which normally that's groan-inducing, but American Alpha and Enzo and Cass team up, and they both come out more hyped than I've seen either team in a while.
They don't get hyped, they stay hyped.
Nice job. They were just crazy. I loved the
They were
new
on it.
80s looking.
Well, it's not new, but
I haven't seen those.
we've been wearing those for weeks.
They did not
That's
wear
the
those.
first time I've ever
That's
seen
literally
them.
the first time they've debuted those.
Go
The
watch
Trapper
like, the
will.
last like 4
They were those
NXTs.
gimmick gray.
The Trapper Keeper
Yeah,
singlets?
exactly.
Yeah. Those
That's the
were tight.
first time they were wearing like a young Latina woman's jacket from 1992. That's what their singlets looked like.
Yeah. Or a Trapper Keeper.
Oh,
Same
they're
thing.
tight, yeah.
So
Seth with Money in the Bank before he
American
cashed it
Alpha's
in.
getting over as fuck. Like the tag team scene is
Oaf?
really yeah. really regenerated and reinvigorated.
Yeah,
Enzo and Cass came out like rejuvenated, regenerated. They were feeling it for the first time in a while.
That might have to do with the fact that they were in a bigger arena. They weren't at Full Sail, so they were like Enzo seems to get really pumped for those arena shows. Yeah,
he went pretty hard at
SmackDown.
So
Trailblazing.
trailblazing through Portland.
Right.
It's tight.
The storm is kicking up out there, man.
So,
throwing shit around.
We've got. I guess let's cover the other thing that's we've recently gone over. You didn't really watch much of it, and I've only watched one night of it. But we have to discuss the latest New Japan event.
You watched 2 nights of it.
I didn't watch the entirety of the first night.
Well, you watched the shit. That was
I watched the most important thing I've ever witnessed.
The Omega?
No.
That was night 2.
Way better than that in my book. I'm sure there's many people will disagree, but night 1, Red Dragon, Young Bucks, Ricochet, Matt Sydal, a 3-way tag match for the junior tag titles, IWGP.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing because I actually chose that match to introduce my mom to the Young Bucks because she loves the Rockers.
Everybody should introduce their mother to the Young Bucks if they can.
They're good Christian boys.
They are.
Yeah.
Every mother would love them. They're the kind of good Christian boys that you want to marry your daughters off to.
Yeah.
Matthias
Buck.
The Matthias Buck. He's on fire, baby.
So what did you think of that match?
I got worked immensely
I
hard.
knew you would. See, the thing about this, like you said that it only took you 3 days to watch the match, but it took me like 5 times telling you to watch the match for you to finally do it. And I knew that you would love that because you're the biggest Ricochet mark on this planet.
Love Ricochet.
And I knew that if you didn't watch it right away, you'd accidentally see that he got strapped somewhere. So I kept trying to like, dude, watch the match. Watch the match.
The best
You
thing
are a
is
huge Ricochet mark.
just a couple hours before I finally watched it, I was on Ricochet's Twitter feed and scrolled for a little while and didn't see any mention of it.
Interestingly enough, you love Prince Puma too, and I feel like there's a correlation there. I just can't figure it out.
Well, that's because he's in Lucha Underground, so Prince Puma.
Plus,
That scrappy kid from Boyle
they're
Heights.
also trained by the same guy. Chuck Taylor trained both of them. So,
God,
so they have
Chuck
similar
T,
styles.
Kentucky gentleman. And that's not true. Conan trained Prince Puma.
That's true.
In kayfabe.
Yeah, kayfabe is life. That's why
Yeah.
Conan is dead. The person on MLW is Charles Ashenoff. Like that's the guy running that show now.
Oh my god.
Boom, deep in Iran. So I went into that match assuming that there was absolutely no way the Bucks were going to drop those titles.
Yeah.
No way. They had just gotten them at Wrestle Kingdom. So when the 1, 2, 3 went down and Ricochet can now add to his list of accolades that he's been strapped in Japan, which if you get strapped with an IWGP, that's more legitimate than pretty much anything else you can.
AJ Styles even admitted that in the Jericho podcast. He said, like, when he won the IWGP heavyweight belt, he thought to himself, this is the most important belt in the world, and I just won it. So he put that belt over all IWGP belts.
Because previously, like, all he's had is the Lucha Underground belt, which is prestigious in its own right, but it's so young.
Yeah,
It
it doesn't
doesn't-
have quite the lineage.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
The
have
best
that
belt
legacy
is the
built up.
gimmick of the gods title.
Dude, stop fucking doing that.
I didn't mean to. It's not like I do it on purpose.
Like, do your gimmick, lean back if you need to.
No, I don't want to lean back, man. I'm not Fat Joe, dog.
I was just about to do the Fat Joe drop.
Yeah.
God, that fucking song.
Too sweet.
Yeah, so what did you think of... You watched more of that card. What were some of your impressions on Wrestle Kingdom?
I like on the
New
card as a
PPV.
whole.
Both nights.
Okay. I thought the Osaka show was a little better than the Niigata show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah, I just realized night 1 was
Like-
when they did the Shibata Ishii rematch.
Like
That's
opening to closing. My favorite match may have been Omega Tanahashi from night 2, but the night 2 besides that, like it was all pretty good, but that was the big standout. Night 1 you had the Bucks, Red Dragon, Ricochet Sydal match. You had Shibata Ishii. You had Okada Goto, which was pretty good. Yeah.
I really like the rub that Creative has given him, Kenny Omega, that is, in New Japan now. It feels like he really has stepped up to replace AJ
Yeah,
as
he's the cleaner.
big #1 heel gaijin that the Bullet Club is going to rally behind, because all of the interference during the Tanahashi match, which was a complete work fest for
Like
an hour straight.
the Bucks under the ring watching New Japan World, so they know the exact time to run out because they're watching it live on their iPhones.
God, that was incredible. So, yeah, an incredible event, and just yet again proof that you need to be watching New Japan. Don't watch wrestling if you don't watch New Japan.
Yeah, you watch it strictly for Kenny Omega if you have no other reason.
Speaking of Kenny Omega, we've now covered what we've watched recently in wrestling. How about what's about to come?
This is our last
Yeah.
recording until we're there, so we should give a little, preview of what's
Right.
about to happen.
Yeah, and this would be something.
You're like
that
the trip planner.
I'm pretty excited about. Yeah.
So why don't you lay down?
You want me
the
to lay?
plans?
I'm gonna like talk about how I gimmicked this trip.
You gimmicked
like
it.
yeah. I
lay down
gimmicked
the
it for
trip,
you.
and I want to
Alright.
preface this with the fact that obviously, if there are any fans listening that are going to be coming to this incredible, unprecedented event, make sure you let us know on Twitter @PutEmOver. So we'd love to hang out with fans, put you guys over on the show.
Yes, it's going to be #PutVegasOver. That's going to be our hashtag for the trip.
It's a decent one.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting over all over the place.
How about Put Vegas Rover? ROH?
Okay, so we had a plan to go to WrestleMania 32. That plan foiled when you guys came back from All-Star Weekend and you were like, no, it's not going to happen. We're not going to a WWE show.
I love that was the catalyst
Yeah.
for shooting down the trip. We were so sold until we saw good wrestling.
And I almost purchased tickets, and we would have been like in. But anyway, so you're like, no, let's just go to Vegas instead and go to ROH 14th anniversary. And I said, oh, okay.
Because I sold you by saying Nakamura's going to be there.
So I got worked.
Fuck you, Vince.
You worked
Right.
yourself into a
You.
shoot, though.
I worked myself into a shoot. So yeah, I jump online and I'm like getting ready to book flights, and you had no idea what your traveling situation was going to be because you didn't know where you were going to be dwelling at that point in your life.
Lucha
No,
John's,
but
Lucha John's a world traveler.
Because he's constantly moving every 2 weeks.
I'm like Elias Sampson. I'm a drifter.
And you'll be moving in another 2 weeks. That's just
Yeah.
constant.
Okay, so I get
Because I'm always getting pushed.
I get
Can't stay in one
T-Cat and
place.
I a plane ticket, right? Like gimmick price, like super duper cheap.
Big price.
Yeah, Vegas is cheap. So
Vegas is a gift.
then I start working on. I go pretty hard on a hotel search for a while.
Yeah, you did.
End up booking 5 nights on the Vegas Strip for $50 a night, all
Yeah.
taxes and fees included. So yeah, gimmick trip. Then I'm on the phone with El Ring, a friend of the show, a friend of ours, a longtime friend of all of ours, and he's like, "Dude, are you excited for Vegas?" And I'm like,
In
"Yeah."
fact, wasn't he the first Pro Wrestling Tees giveaway winner? He got the DDP shirt, didn't he?
No, that was Cam Opp.
Was it Cam that
Yeah,
did that?
Cam Opp tweeted at us, and he got his free shirt. Yeah. So,
I just know they're both DDP marks. It's
they
true.
are big time DDP marks. So yeah, I'm on the phone with El Ring, and he's like, "You pumped for Vegas?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. Like I've never been there before. It's gonna be exciting." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, it sounds like fun, man." And I'm like,
You'll
You
go
should-
right now.
I was like, "You should go." And he's like, "Nah." He's like, I don't have a job right now." I'm like, "Sweet, that means you have time off." And he's like, "No, I can't. Like, I don't have any money." And I'm like, "All right, well, what's your like physical address? Because I'm about to buy you a plane ticket, you know." And I just like put him over, get him a plane ticket. So yeah, El Ring's meeting us there. I was gonna swerve you guys on it, but then I came down to the fact that first of all, I'm horrible at kayfabing things,
You're
And-
so bad at it.
and I kayfabed the shit out of those IHOP shirts though, and I was
Yeah.
proud of myself
You
on
did,
that.
you did.
Right, and I'm kayfabing on your birthday gimmick, even though it's so hard. 'Cause
Even though when
like,
you were Hurley drunk, you tried to tell me like 8 separate
We
times.
had to like
It's true.
tackle you to stop you.
yeah, that's true. So and it's Adam drunk. It's Adam drunk and El
You're
Ring
breaking kayfabe. You're not Adam.
No, but Adam drunk is a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nothing
but-
to do with him. That's just the name of it.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but it has to be Hurley drunk if you're doing it. Because it's a unique brand of you being inebriated.
That's be working myself into a shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, El Ring's gonna meet us there, and I was like, well, we're gonna get into town like 10 o'clock, and he's not gonna get there till midnight. I'm not gonna keep you guys at the airport for 2 hours without having to tell you like why I'm hanging out there instead of catching a shuttle to the hotel.
Yeah, that was
So-
rough.
Yeah,
It
El
would be
Ring
easy. You
will
could've
be.
kayfabe. It's like I'm pretty sure like Okada's coming.
So
We're
My-
waiting for his flight to come in.
yeah, I saw a dirt sheet that said some New Japan guys were landing at 12.
here. You do realize
Anyway.
that we can look up the flight manifest and see like any flights.
Is that
coming
public
in.
knowledge?
You can
Like
just look
who's
up and
on
see
a flight?
No, from
oh, got it. Oh,
if it's
got it,
like from
Osaka.
yeah, if it's from like Narita Airport in Tokyo, it's like
Narita.
okay,
Drop
obviously.
the name.
Costs like $8,000 to fly there. So anyway, Yeah, so El Ring will be in our hotel room with us next week. We will have a podcast live from the hotel room. We're going to do a YouTube special on the way down to the airport because we have about a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, I'll be available for pics in Vegas if you want to come up. Yeah.
We're gonna do like the gimmick YouTube like
Autographs.
video where we're sitting in front of the window and the backdrop is the Vegas Strip. You know, it'll be a gimmick.
And obviously, as I already announced, we're going to have Stokely Hathaway on the show, and hopefully we're going to set up some brief interviews with some other guys that we're going to work on here in the next few days. And then additionally that week, put our boys over, our friends at Suplex City Limits.
Yeah.
I'm going to be their guest of the week on that podcast. So
Let's see
Yeah, you're doing your...
Let's see if El Ring's awake. I'm gonna call him.
I'm going to call him right now.
Yeah.
El Ring 85 is
Yeah,
on your phone.
TM.
Dude, you're doing your spot on Suplex City Limits from Vegas. I like
The
that.
day after Ring of Honor 14. And then my boy Andrew also wants me to call in, so I'm a hot commodity.
So next week's podcast will be a heavy WCW podcast because El Ring will like to talk WCW. He's a big mark. It's not a problem for you.
I will
I know.
always talk WCW. I
Not a
was never
problem for me either.
WWF
Isn't
guy.
like 2 a.m. where he is?
Could be.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. That's 2 hours ahead. It's 11:43 here. Yeah, it's like 1:43 there. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, El Ring. I texted him, but he's not answering. So anyway, yeah, I'm excited to see him. He moved to Texas, and I haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen him since July. Did you see him when he was here? No. Okay.
Nope, I wasn't here yet.
You were
I
here.
got it in August, bro.
You got here in July.
Not in
I
August.
picked you up from Lost Coast Brewery on the 4th of July.
No, I was visiting for like a couple days. That was
Dude,
it.
Dude,
that's
he's
not
date
true.
guy.
I'm date guy. Don't challenge date guy.
I will
You
always
got
challenge
here in
date
July.
guy.
You were supposed to be here for 2 weeks. You stayed until August, and then you stayed. First you stayed for the WPW show.
Yeah, I had
It's
to.
always related to wrestling.
When was
like,
that? Was that in July?
That was August.
That was August.
Yeah, that was like August 24th. Or
I had
something
like that poetry that I submitted to the.
Yeah, it was like
County fair.
all those ribbons and everything, right?
I got over in the poetry
That's
gimmick.
Right. So
Such a literary motherfucker.
I feel like the first 2 nights in Vegas, we're gonna just go hard and
I'm not
get
going
over.
to.
I'm gonna get a tattoo. I think
We should all get tattoos.
I'm getting a tattoo.
you should get a tattoo.
Why would I have to face this body?
It's not a very good body.
Dude,
I
what
wouldn't
tattoo
face
would
it.
you get, Lucha Jon?
You literally just said what it was in my name. It'd have to be something lucha.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Like I'd get, I don't know, like a mask.
Like a dick?
No.
You tight.
There's not enough room on my body for another dick. This one takes up
I
too
didn't
much
say it'd
room.
be of your dick, just a dick.
I'm excited.
I guess I could fit yours somewhere, like maybe
It'll
on
be
my ankle or
micro-
something.
It'll be fun on
A
the
little
road.
fucking
On the
sad baby dick. You know who I bet has a baby dick?
Who?
Braun Strowman.
oh yeah.
Like that thing,
Oh yeah.
when he lets his pubes grow
Like
out,
a 2-incher?
like less.
Wow.
Like it's fairly big around. It looks like a silver dollar.
The pubes over, like, go past, like, the
Yes.
flaccid peen.
Yes. It looks like an earthworm making its way through the fresh
that?
soil.
For those of you that don't know, we are watching WrestleMania 31 right now, and the mega spot is coming.
It was my favorite spot of
Oh.
2015.
If you
on
don't know what the
TLC.
mega spot at WrestleMania 31 is, it is
The last current
Randy
year.
Orton is gonna get curb stomped, and Seth Rollins flies in the air and gets RKO'd, and it's the most
it.
insane thing ever.
Like,
it's coming up
we're
pretty
in
soon.
that sea of people.
Yeah, we're in there.
This was
Yeah,
my
we were
this was
there.
my return to the biz,
Right.
and half these guys didn't know, but I
With
knew
your
the legend
Steam
killer.
TNA shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
golden era.
this is my very first live wrestling event I ever went to was at the Del Norte County Fairgrounds when I was in like 7th or 8th grade. Honky Tonk Man was there.
So tight.
So
What a
tight.
drop.
There was a couple of other tight
I
guys
met
there too.
him too.
Yeah.
That's a great guy. to
Yeah,
drop.
like I said hi to him that night. But anyway, the second wrestling show I ever went to was IHWE at the Redwood Acres Fairgrounds. The third was WrestleMania 31. So my progress of wrestling shows
What's
live.
cool is after Ring of Honor, the next one you're going to be at is we're booked to do special appearances at the next IHWE show here in Humboldt County.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna.
So any of our local fans can drop by and shoot with us as well.
We are definitely a.
And then we'll be back the week after Vegas. We'll be back in Reseda.
We're
Yeah,
gonna.
so
We're gonna.
that's the
we're
plan
Gonna,
is-
we're gonna elevate that Redwood Acres show. We elevated WPW.
We elevated the shit out of that because K. Ross can't get his own guys over for shit.
Martine's tight though.
Yeah, Martine is a
Got
legit...
shouted out by Jericho.
Yeah, and I've been trying to tell you he's hella tight.
Yeah.
He trains Super Dragon,
Yeah.
but with a jobber like K. Ross, like the guy's a total jabroni mark.
Is this JoJo?
He's JoJo. Boom.
Hey, you guys shouldn't be using so much industry lingo. Yeah, that's our gimmick, dude. That's what we do. Like
Like,
our
you
whole
can't even-
show.
You can't even retort him without using
Yeah.
industry lingo.
Yeah.
The best thing is that's exactly what I said.
What,
Straight
really?
shoot.
The Jabberwacky? Remember that?
Yeah.
God, that used to be like your gimmick.
Yeah, the jobber
The
walk.
Pre-
Jabberwocky.
Lucha Jon.
Yeah.
I
But he
like
had
Lucha
like the
Jon more.
lucha
Yeah.
gimmick mask.
Yeah, still. I was
Yeah, your
always,
Twitter was like at the Jobberwock.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
coined Lucha Jon and it like stuck for some reason.
Yeah,
Like,
because
it was easy. But
John is the most vanilla name ever, so you had to create a gimmick. And
yeah, if you're
I-
gonna be a vanilla
I shot
lucha,
myself into a work.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
you did.
That's exactly
did.
what happened.
Kind of like that poncho.
Yeah,
I know
and
you
we're
worked
not-
yourself into a
I
shoot.
worked myself into a shoot on this one.
yeah, you shot yourself into a work. Yeah.
So yeah, we're more than likely going to be attending ASW 12, which I wanted to go to anyway. But the moment they announced that the main event,
you guys will be able to go. I won't be able to go.
the main event tonight one is a PWG title match for the tag titles, and it's the Bucks against the recently scrapped IWGP Junior. Oh my God, here it comes.
Oh, what a mark!
Junior tag champs Matt Sydal and Ricochet. So, if the Bucks drop both sets of belts in the span of 1 month to the same team, I will eat my own mask.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say your own shit.
I thought you were gonna say I'll eat my own ass.
Do I look flexible enough to do that?
Be tight probably. Probably feel good.
Eating ass would be good. You know what else would be fun though?
What?
Like doing a 69 on a tombstone pile driver.
Hey, Suplex City Limits. Thank you for answering that question of mine. Like something I've been thinking about for a long time, and
What's that?
Well, Suplex City Limits on their last episode, they were doing a Valentine's Day episode.
Mhm.
They asked on
That's a
Twitter,
good episode.
does anybody have any Valentine's Day questions? Because we're going to answer them on the podcast. So I tweeted at them. I was like, hey, like I know this girl, and she wants me to do like a Tombstone 69 with her. So like I put her in the Tombstone pile driver, but it's
Mhm.
like a 69. Like, should I do that, or is that like too weird? And they like gave an in-depth answer about it.
Is
And they
she
analyzed
into
it.
wrestling?
Yeah.
So don't you have like a rule of like to never bang a chick that if you meet a chick that's into wrestling, you should never bang her?
That's
No,
like,
that's
Or if you
if I
should
could say
bang
like
her.
the opposite of that rule,
Yeah.
that would be my rule. Like
no,
every
that's
girl
like
that's
at
into
the
wrestling,
Maybe
at
that's-
see the kid win. That's his rule.
I thought I heard you say something like that, but maybe you're
That's the
reading
most
somebody
ridiculous-
else's.
Yeah,
thing.
we were
Oh,
making fun of a
okay.
guy that said that.
The guy
Oh,
who
that guy
shot on
sucks.
2 weeks ago. He's
Yeah.
a cuck and a fucking new male.
That guy
You should
sucks.
romance every female wrestling fan. you
Yeah.
can. But,
Especially Bel Generico.
I got my wife into wrestling. She like marks on
You should
stuff
always convert women to marks. It increases their breeding potential.
But on Suplex City Limits, you loved when they were dropping like the big Dave quotes. Dave make fuck.
Dave make fuck. Yeah, I was popping pretty hard, but I do want to point out there was some serious gimmick infringement. Jim dropped the color during sex.
Yeah, that's your thing.
That was my thing. It's actually what got me invited on their show. So he needs to step up, or I'm going to throw down with him.
Yeah.
There might have to be
You
some.
need to
word
call him
heat.
out on that when you're on the show.
I'm going to. He's probably listening right now, though.
Yeah.
Stealing our material.
Everybody's listening.
It's
Yeah,
true.
man.
Everyone.
So over.
How many times? The Sultan of Selfies.
Yeah.
I called that out on day one of this podcast. I am positive, like Kevin Dunn listens to this. He's like masturbating angrily, like, oh, I hate these smart marks.
Like he's doing it dry too, and like chafing his
Yeah,
dick.
he's just like
There's
fucking
no-
literally rubbing one
Yeah.
out. Like it's not a joyous experience. There's no passion. There's no mirth in it. He just wants to. He needs that build up of
When
adrenaline.
get the cream of the crop to rise to the top.
When I jay off, I like make it kind of romantic, like kind of in the 40-year-old virgin. Like I light candles, like I make it like into a whole event.
Tight.
It's like a date with myself.
You
What?
like go on the full production.
Absolutely.
Do you like pick out a certain porn, like you say?
Yes,
like,
I
it's
gotta,
gonna be
like-
this
yes.
one, a gimmick
I-
oil.
No, never oils. You gotta go dry like Kevin Dunn. You gotta chafe it up.
No, if it's romantic, you can't do that. I love that this guy pretends on air like, oh, we're recording. I don't masturbate.
No. It's just I always get like nervous how deep that conversation could possibly go between you guys because you guys have
About 6 inches.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
You guys have no cap to what you'll talk about when it comes to like
Literally
touching
no
penises.
filter, it's my gimmick. I am as unfiltered as shitty, cheap cigarettes you buy at the Indian
I
reservation.
thought that was gonna be a Renee Young joke.
No. Should I have gone Renee Young?
Unfiltered.
She's got a tight show called Unfiltered. It's pretty.
It's not
Pretty
that
cool.
tight. It's not shooting.
It was
enough.
tight when she was eating breakfast with Seth Rollins.
That was
That
tight.
was the best one. Yeah.
No, the best one was Dolph Ziggler.
That was a good one. Yeah.
But I prefer to
'Cause
listen to some shoot. Like,
'Cause
I want to
Nick's
hear.
funny.
I want to hear something like Conan saying, like, yeah, well, maybe don't fuck everyone in AAA that you think has power to put you over.
Boom.
Who did he say that to?
Some bitch.
He was like
He's
calling out like a chick in like that promotion.
by name.
Yeah,
Like,
like
the guy has never. He's a social assassin. He's the
Is it-
luchador Larry David. He just.
would it be possible
goes.
to get Conan on this show? Like that's the dream guest of mine.
I'll ask him.
We kind of had him in spirit through the Rumpope
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it was like Mexican
Dude.
eggnog.
Yeah. And
But
like he
Leg
said
was
that on
running
one
it,
episode and like we've carried it on.
We made it a meme.
We're the only ones carry. Yeah.
and I
it's
use
not
that
a macro.
correctly. It's
either.
not a macro at all.
It's definitely not.
Oh, and I'd love to have him on the show because
And he was on
Dude,
the
we
show in
wa-
that autographed photo that you got at Christmas Gimmicks.
it's true.
And we just watched a very good Conan Paraguayo steel cage match not like 1 to 2 hours ago.
What a great! Had I watched that as a kid, I would have lost my mind. We watched. It was called When Worlds Collide. It was a special event. IWC and AAA had a
You
pay-per-view.
mean AAA?
AAA. The Administration. Put on this gimmick pay-per-view in 1994, and it's just a lucha libre show with 13,000 people
Had
in
some
the
minis.
sports arena. Had Masquerade Sagrada, Octagoncito. Just the card was stacked. Blue Panther,
This
El
guy.
Guerrero,
Psychosis.
Psychosis, Rey Mysterio Jr. And I wanna call out Chris Cruz from 20 years ago,
Yes.
who put over Ray and said, I have a feeling that this young man, we're going to be watching him for years. He's going to be a star. 20, 30 years from now, we're still going to be hearing about
In
Rey Mysterio Jr.
1994, he shouted
It's
that out.
That's prophetic.
That's over 2
Ray was-
decades.
Yeah, Ray was 19 at the time.
God.
So he already called it when Ray was 19.
Like, he hadn't even been Rey Mysterio Jr. that long. He had just, like, I think a couple
He
years
was-
prior.
He was 19 years old, about 130 pounds,
Yeah.
0 tats, and he called it.
That's about like I remember when he debuted on WCW. I mean, like he was just young, no tats, super scrawny.
Yeah.
One of the best. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Immediately got over it.
yeah, if you look at world influence, he's not up there, but for the United States, Rey Mysterio is the face of that entire art form. He is the luchador that everyone thinks about.
He's a luchador that got over in the States.
Yeah, because like
one
they
of the
made
few.
these gimmicks for him.
Yeah,
Dude, there it is.
put him
Yeah.
to Wrestle Buddy.
Yeah, that thing's tight, man.
Can we?
So
I'm gonna make an Adam
I'm gonna
Drunk.
make a rare recommendation. Ooh. Yeah. I told you guys about this, and I think we ought to watch it tonight. But the big show,
24?
the big show on Stone Cold's podcast was actually pretty brilliant.
Yeah, that has Adam's seal of approval.
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend you watch that because like talking about the old times in WCW and stuff like that. He gets emotional and he tells some pretty deep stories and everything.
Didn't
and
you say he like cried at
yeah,
one
he
point?
shoot cries like twice, and Stone Cold's hilarious. Drops all sorts of gimmick bombs and all sorts of lingo. And
Sheet pop. for
It's
you.
cool because you can just see these guys shooting, on their old days, and he tells tells a great story about how he pulled Stone Cold's trunks up his butt one time, like, and exposed his pale white ass because he's had like a tan line or whatever, and he's on it messed up my gimmick. He's like all pissed off about it. I gotta put you guys over on it. It's an hour, but it's
I'll
totally worth
listen to it. It's,
yeah,
I'm a Paul Mark.
yeah, it's really good. It's some
Oh,
good stuff.
oh.
One of the
So
few.
yeah, jump on the network and see that. I'm at the point in my life where I'm rarely ever telling people to watch anything on the WWE like
Gimmick.
universe, planet, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Though I have to say, and I never thought I'd say this in my entire life, Miz worked an amazing match on Monday night.
He had a good match.
Like, he went hard with AJ.
Yeah.
They started to really get into that.
Did you
The
know that
flow
AJ
was
calls
good.
himself the Phenomenal One?
No, I didn't know that. Did you know that Charlotte calls it the figure eight because it's twice as good as her daddy's?
Yes, I did know.
I
that.
didn't.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that
It's
before.
been said a few times.
Vintage Miz.
Yeah.
What a maneuver!
Yeah.
There's a podcast out
I
there
think
called What a Maneuver, and I popped
I think I have a new outro for every time we end the podcast. I'm just going to start saying the same thing every single time.
All right. Well, I'd like that.
Yeah.
I like some continuity.
Yeah.
That's why I try and have us do the intros and outros.
Yep.
It's a good gimmick.
And then I'm going to add this particular thing to Gorilla.
You can add a thing to Gorilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something missing in Gorilla.
So this is a thing that you say and it's merch related?
Kind of.
It's like a gimmick?
Yeah.
Of course it's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick. Don't fool yourself, Lucha Jon. Don't get worked.
Don't work. I'm going to work myself into a shoot.
Yeah. So, I'm excited for Vegas. Are we done tonight? Do we have anything else to talk about? Let's watch Ring of Honor.
I do want to watch Ring of Honor. That's been the...
Yeah, because I'm excited to watch that right now because it could lead into some of the stuff we're going to see.
Unless we wanted to do some random chatter, but I don't think we're at that point. I know you wanted to watch 24.
We're at,
Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about Jack Bauer for a few minutes tonight. We were talking earlier on.
Otherwise, I'm gonna go home and play Der Eisendrache.
It's something that like we rarely talk about the fact that all three of us are huge Jack Bauer marks, and you guys both have me to thank for it because I put you both over on Jack Bauer. I will take full credit.
You
for
kind of
that.
have whack taste in a lot of things, so I buried your recommendation.
Yeah,
But I think it was up to season 4 when I finally popped in the season 1 DVD.
yeah.
Begrudgingly, I remember I was in a hotel in Tualatin, Oregon, and I had just come from an international martial arts tournament. I was laid up in bed because I straight shoot had a katana wound in my leg. This is not a work.
God.
And I'm in this hotel room, and my PS2's hooked up, and I'm like,
PS2. In a hotel room, he's got the PS2. hooked up.
I never travel
Is
without
this
my
a slammer?
console. Yeah, it is.
Yes. For the 50 pogs that I stapled to the wall.
And so I'm sitting there, and I think I had just finished playing some SmackDown vs. Raw, the original, and I figured, you know what, fuck it, I'll check out the first episode so I can pretend that I care and humor Adam. And I watched it, and those last seconds counted down, and I got worked.
Yeah.
I got worked. It was the pure definition of getting worked, and I watched the first 8 episodes in a row.
when that clock hits at the end, it works for me every time.
Yeah, there. I don't know if there's a better show in history like perfect cliffhangers, except for Lucha Underground because they're pretty good at the cliffhangers lately.
Pretty good.
No, I mean, but like there's just like, yeah, the Jack Bauer and Jack. If you think about it too, like now that everything has to do with wrestling, like Jack had a lot of gimmicks in that show, like all like the gimmick weapons and like
props,
technology
like
and
hella
props that he used, right? Yeah, and then there was like.
I feel like we need to dedicate a list gimmick to Jack Bauer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we save this conversation?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll have. I'll come up with a good Jack Bauer.
So
list.
for those of you who tune into wrestling podcasts with the explicit intent of listening to something that isn't wrestling related, prepare for an upcoming episode.
When Jack was tailing that guy and he had to stop him for a while and he held up like the liquor store to like buy himself. Was he working himself into a shoot there?
Yeah, that was working himself into a shoot because he got shoot heat for it, but it was work.
Jack always got shoot heat for everything he did.
I think my favorite Jack moment is when he went Lucha Jace at the end of season 8 when he gets that fucking riot mask on and he looks like one of the niggas from Army of Two on Xbox 360.
Logan's in like his limo.
Yeah, and he just
he's
goes
like
through.
screaming.
He's like,
That's Jack Bauer! That's Jack Bauer!
He's
That's
getting
Jack Bauer!
worked.
He just like just strolls down like a fucking Terminator.
That's Jack Bauer.
This is Angel of Death.
And
Oh
he's
my
like,
god! Speaking of Terminator,
And he like stands on the hood and he's just like looking through like the windshield.
God, so good. He looks like fucking Slade Wilson, just Deathstroke right there.
Yeah, dude.
Great stuff. So
I know that in the Jack. I'll give you a couple of previews. I know that T-Cat will mark for Bill Buchanan a couple of times in his discussion.
Every
love
single
Bill.
time.
Yeah,
Who doesn't love Bill?
Yeah,
Like
he's
one of my
the
favorites.
best. You'll mark for Chloe quite a bit.
You
gotta
got it
open
from
up a
Michelle.
Open up a
Not
socket.
as much.
Get out of here. No,
Like I don't dislike
I
her.
don't care. That was
Michelle's
too.
tight.
That was too tepid a reaction to her
I'm-
name being dropped.
I'm the
Reiko
biggest
Islesworth is-
Kim Bauer mark.
Did you just drop her shoot?
Yeah, Reiko Islesworth.
Yeah, dude.
She's like half Japanese.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, she looks it.
I'm excited for the 24 conversation.
I'm excited for Ring of Honor.
Elring-
Like watching it tonight and seeing it live.
El Ring liked 24 too, so he'll talk Jack Bauer with us next week.
Fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Our hotel episode.
Hotel episode.
So I guess for Put 'em Over, my name is Lucha Jon. You can shoot with me on Twitter at Lucha Jon.
Can Can I hire a prostitute to like be on the podcast, like
Yeah.
talk with us?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Only if she wears a mask, though.
And we all have to work on them.
Oh, I don't want to. I'm not going to do anything sexual with her. We're just
Yeah.
going to like talk.
You know what you have to do when you're near a prostitute. You should always work on them.
No, she's my employee. If I want to use the hour I buy from her to shoot on wrestling on a mic, she has to
Yeah,
do that.
But she has to stay clothed. We don't want to have grody sex with her.
Oh yeah, ew.
Yeah.
You guys.
Anyway, I'm Lucha Jon. You are.
I'm Hurley, and the potted plant is over.
Potted plant is over.
Who am I?
That was like
Tell them who I am. No, tell them who I am right now.
Francis.
Look at H right now.
That-
You haven't
that-
seen Deadpool yet. That was a great drop, and if I
I thought you meant that was like Abyss's like gimmick, like that. Wasn't the name Francis?
no Francine
Oh, okay.
or Janice was the. Let's watch Ring of Honor.
All right.
Let's do it.